Right now, as you're watching this, millions of Americans are sitting at kitchen tables, staring at bills, doing the same painful math over and over again. Rent went up, groceries cost more, gas doesn't stretch like it used to. And if you or someone in your family depends on Social Security, SSI, or SSDI, that pressure feels even heavier. This isn't some abstract policy debate, and this is about your life, your family, and your wallet. So when a headline starts spreading that says, good, $200 monthly right now for everyone on Social Security, it hits a nerve. It grabs attention because $200 a month isn't pocket change anymore. That's groceries for a week. That's part of a utility bill. That's medication. That's breathing room. And for many households, it's the difference between stress and survival. But here's the thing. When money headlines move this fast, confusion follows even faster. Some people think it's already happening. Others think it's fake. Some are scared to get their hopes up again. And that emotional roller coaster? That's exhausting. You deserve clarity, not clickbait panic or empty promises. That's exactly what this video is about. We're going to slow this down, explain it in plain language, and walk through what's actually being discussed, what's realistic, what's rumor, and what could happen next. No complicated government jargon, no talking over your head, just real talk in real terms about real money. And make no mistake, this conversation matters right now. Because the pressure on Social Security beneficiaries isn't easing up. Inflation may cool on paper, but at the checkout line, it still hurts. Lawmakers know it, agencies know it, and that's why new ideas, proposals, and headlines keep surfacing. So before you scroll away or assume you already know the answer, stay with me. Because what sounds like a simple $200 question is actually part of a much bigger financial moment, one that could shape what your benefits look like going forward. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly where things stand and why staying informed right now matters more than ever. Why $200 a month feels so big right now. Let's talk about why this $200 number has people paying attention. 10 years ago, $200 felt helpful. Today, it feels critical. Prices didn't just creep up, they jumped. Food costs surged, housing costs exploded, insurance premiums climbed, and for millions living on fixed incomes, there's no easy way to just earn more. If you're on Social Security, your monthly check is supposed to provide stability, but stability doesn't mean much when expenses move faster than benefits. Even with annual cost of living adjustments, many recipients feel like they're constantly falling behind. Every increase seems to get swallowed up before it even hits your account. That's why $200 monthly isn't being talked about as a luxury. It's being talked about as relief. For some, it's covering prescription costs. For others, it's helping keep the lights on. For families supporting aging parents, it's one less emergency phone call at the end of the month. And here's what makes this even more emotional. Many people on Social Security paid into the system for decades. They worked, they contributed, they planned responsibly. So when they hear discussions about additional monthly support, it doesn't feel like asking for a handout. It feels like asking for fairness. This is also happening at a moment when trust is fragile. People have heard big promises before. Headlines flare up, hope rises, and then nothing changes. That cycle wears people down. So when this $200 conversation starts trending, it creates a mix of hope, skepticism, and anxiety all at once. The reality is, policymakers are under pressure. The aging population is growing. Costs aren't going down. And the gap between benefits and real-life expenses is impossible to ignore. That's why proposals, pilot programs, and what-if scenarios are being floated more often. Not because solutions are easy, but because the problem is urgent. So when you see this headline, understand why it's resonating so deeply. It's not about greed. It's about survival. It's about dignity. And it's about whether the system people relied on can keep up with the world we're actually living in right now, where this $200 idea is actually coming from. Now let's slow things down and talk about where this $200 monthly idea is coming from, because understanding the source matters. This number didn't appear out of thin air. It's tied to ongoing discussions about benefit adequacy, inflation gaps, and targeted relief strategies being debated across multiple levels. Over the past few years, lawmakers, advocacy groups, and policy analysts have repeatedly raised the same concern. Current benefits don't fully reflect real living costs, especially for seniors and people with disabilities. That concern has led to studies, proposals, and trial ideas, some national, some regional, some theoretical. In certain discussions, figures like $100, $150, or $200 are often used as examples to show what meaningful monthly relief might look like. These aren't random numbers. They're based on average cost increases in essentials like food, housing, and healthcare. The goal isn't to shock, it's to illustrate impact. But here's where things get confusing. When those discussions reach social media, nuance disappears. A proposal becomes a promise, a conversation becomes a guarantee, and suddenly headlines make it sound like money is already on the way when in reality the situation is more complex. Some ideas involve temporary supplements. Others suggest targeted boosts for the lowest income beneficiaries. Some focus on recalculating how cost of living adjustments are measured. All of these ideas exist in the same ecosystem, but none of them automatically mean every recipient is getting $200 right now. This doesn't mean the conversation isn't serious. It is. The fact that these numbers are being openly discussed shows how intense the pressure has become. Decision makers know that ignoring the issue isn't sustainable, but it also means you need to separate confirmed actions from ongoing debate. And that's exactly why videos like this matter, because you deserve clarity, not confusion. Understanding where ideas originate helps you judge what's realistic, what's still under discussion, and what could actually turn into policy down the line. Is this money real, approved, or just talk? This is the moment everyone wants a straight answer, so let's be direct. As of now, there is no automatic universal $200 monthly payment currently being sent to every Social Security recipient. That's the truth. And it's important to say it clearly so no one plans their finances around something that isn't confirmed. But here's the part that doesn't get enough attention. Just because something isn't approved yet doesn't mean it's imaginary. It means it's in the discussion phase. And in government terms, discussion is often the first step toward action, especially when public pressure stays high. There are multiple pathways these ideas could take. Some could become short-term relief programs. Others could turn into targeted increases for specific groups. Some might influence future cost of living formulas rather than appear as a separate payment. The outcome isn't set, and that's exactly why staying informed matters. What's dangerous is misinformation. When people believe money is guaranteed, they may delay critical decisions or fall victim to scams. That's why clarity is power. Knowing what's real, what's pending, and what's being debated protects you and your family. So if you've heard someone say it's already approved or everyone's getting it next month, take a breath, ask questions, look for verified updates. Because while help is being discussed, nothing should be treated as official until it's announced through proper channels. This isn't about killing hope, it's about protecting it. Why lawmakers can't ignore this anymore. Here's something important to understand. The pressure isn't fading, it's intensifying. More Americans are aging into the system. More households are relying on benefits as their primary income. And more voters are speaking up about affordability. That creates a political reality where ignoring Social Security concerns becomes risky. When enough people feel squeezed, conversations turn into campaigns, and campaigns turn into policy priorities. History shows that major changes often follow periods of sustained pressure. This is why benefit adequacy keeps resurfacing. It's why supplemental ideas don't disappear after one news cycle. And it's why numbers like $200 keep coming back, because they reflect real pain points, not abstract theory. Lawmakers may disagree on solutions, but they agree on one thing. The status quo is under strain, and when systems are strained, change becomes more likely. How this could affect your monthly budget. Let's bring this back to you. Imagine what an extra $200 a month would actually do. Not in theory, in real life. That's $2,400 a year. That's groceries, prescriptions, transportation, or catching up on overdue bills. For some families, it's the ability to stop using credit cards for essentials. For others, it's avoiding tough choices between food and medicine. That's why this conversation resonates so deeply, because the impact would be immediate and tangible. Even the possibility of future relief can change how people plan, and planning matters when every dollar counts. The risk of scams and false promises. Whenever money is involved, scammers follow. That's the unfortunate reality. Anytime headlines about new payments start circulating, fraud attempts increase. Fake calls, fake emails, fake promises asking for personal information. Remember this, no legitimate agency will ask you to pay a fee to receive benefits. Staying informed isn't just about opportunity, it's about protection. What you should actually do right now. The smartest move right now is awareness. Follow verified updates. Question viral claims. Don't rely on one headline. Knowledge puts you ahead of confusion and fear. And most importantly, don't disengage. These discussions matter because public attention matters. Why the next few months matter more than you think. The decisions being discussed today shape tomorrow's reality. Whether it's $200, a recalculated adjustment, or targeted relief, momentum builds over time. And those who stay informed are always better prepared. Why this moment feels different than before. If you've been following Social Security news for years, you might be thinking, I've heard promises before. What makes this time any different? And that's a fair question. Hope without results can feel like emotional whiplash. But here's why this moment feels different, and why so many people are paying attention right now. We're living in a period where everyday costs have exposed cracks that were once hidden. Years ago, benefit increases lagged behind inflation, but families could still stretch a dollar. Today, that flexibility is gone. There's no more wiggle room. And policymakers know it. When constituents stop absorbing cost increases quietly, the pressure changes. What's different now is visibility. Social media, digital news, and viral videos have amplified real stories. Seniors skipping meals, people choosing between prescriptions and rent, families helping parents who were supposed to be financially stable. These stories aren't isolated anymore. They're everywhere. And when problems become visible, they become politically unavoidable. Another major difference is timing. Budget discussions, election cycles, and economic uncertainty are colliding at the same moment. That combination forces uncomfortable conversations. It pushes benefit adequacy from the background into the spotlight. And when ideas like a $200 monthly supplement gain traction during moments like this, they carry more weight than they would have in quieter times. This doesn't mean outcomes are guaranteed, but it does mean the conversation isn't fading. It's growing. And the louder it gets, the harder it becomes to ignore. That's why this headline didn't disappear after one day. That's why people keep asking questions. And that's why staying engaged right now could matter more than ever. Who could benefit most if changes happen? Let's talk about who this kind of monthly increase would matter most to, because the impact wouldn't be equal across the board. While every extra dollar helps, certain groups feel the pressure more intensely than others. Low-income seniors living alone are often hit hardest. When there's no secondary income and no family support nearby, every expense becomes a crisis. For these individuals, $200 isn't a bonus. It's survival. It's food security. It's staying housed. It's dignity. People with disabilities face a similar reality. Many rely on fixed benefits while facing higher medical and accessibility costs. Transportation, specialized care, and prescriptions eat into budgets quickly. Any consistent monthly increase can stabilize lives that currently feel one emergency away from collapse. Then there are families supporting aging parents. Adult children across America are quietly helping cover gaps. Groceries here, utilities there. If benefits better matched real-world costs, that pressure could ease. That's not just a financial issue. It's emotional relief for entire families. Understanding who benefits most helps explain why these discussions are gaining urgency. This isn't about excess, it's about adequacy. And when policymakers evaluate proposals, these real-life impacts are impossible to ignore. Let's be real. This isn't just another headline to scroll past. This is about how secure you feel next month, next year, and in the years ahead. When money gets tight, information becomes power. The conversation around a $200 monthly increase reflects something deeper, a system under pressure and a public demanding answers. Whether changes arrive as supplements, adjustments, or reforms, one thing is clear. The status quo isn't enough for millions of Americans. This channel exists so you don't have to guess, so you don't feel alone, and so you're never blindsided by changes that affect your wallet. If staying informed matters to you, your family, and your future, staying connected matters too. Because when real updates break, you deserve to hear them clearly, honestly, and first. And that's how you protect your financial future, one informed decision at a time.